Nice fish. Hey folks, Captain Mike here from Salty Cape. Today I'm at Monomoy, which is probably hard to tell with all this fog behind me, but I'm here in the rips. We know the stripers are keyed in on squid. So we're gonna be rip fishing with our pink and our amber color poppers. We're gonna cast up tide, swing these beautiful plugs in the rip and see how we do. Well, in terms of chunkier fish, it is pink plug one, amber plug one. Beauty of a barbless hook, it just slides out. I'm gonna let this girl go. So we drop back to drift down on that fish. We're just gonna tiptoe right back up to where we were. So we're rip fishing today, again here on Monomoy, and the name of the game, the approach, is to make a series of short drifts. So we go up in front of the rip in the smooth water, take the boat out of gear, drift back, in and out of gear, just enough RPMs to hold the boat in front of the rip. We're gonna cast up tide, we're gonna work the popper as it swings over the shoal, hook a fish. If we get a bigger fish, we're gonna drift back on that fish to land it, you know, because we're working against the current. The currents are fairly strong here at Monomoy, so we just, you know, just to have a safe release for the fish, we'll just drift back. And then, as you can see now, I'm just idling back up in front of the rip. I don't wanna go charging. I don't wanna disturb the ecosystem here. I wanna keep the fish happy and hungry. I'm hooked up. This one's a little bigger. I'm gonna take the boat out of gear. It's been a while since I had a fish take this much line. And so we're gonna take the boat out of gear and drift back on it. There's too much fish to horse out of the rip. And you know, all the springtime colors are working. We tried the translucent white, the amber, the old school amber, and this fish, the hot pink. So it's really behaving like middle June here at Monomoy, and as always, just super fun. The fog makes it feel a little mysterious, though a little hard to dodge boats, but we're managing. It's a little bigger. So let's talk about how to retrieve this Hoagie popper. I'm gonna get us set up in front of the rip here. And you get the boat in a good position. And then I'm gonna take it out of gear with a nice natural presentation. So I'm gonna cast up tide. So I'm gonna fish the swing as this lure comes down the rip. And so my rod angle is gonna change based on the distance of the lure. So when it's far out, my tip is gonna be up. And as you get closer, rod tip comes down a little bit. You're gonna pop that lure, pop that lure. As you get closer, my rod tip goes down. But it's just a series of pops, pause, pop, pause. So you can fish a popper, I would say either a medium speed or a slow speed. The cadence could be pop, pause, or it could be a fairly consistent pop, 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 pop action. But what I find works best is if I go slow, fast, slow, if I just change the retrieve speed, sometimes you'll get fish following your lure, and that change in speed can draw out that reaction strike. It's like 4 fish on that plug, and I think I got the big one. I don't know. It's hard to tell in the rip here, but that was awesome. Usually it's the little guy that gets it, so I don't have my hopes up too high, but there was a fish in there that was bigger than the rest. I think this guy was the smaller one, but when I say small, that's a relative term. This is probably a 30-inch fish. But I know I saw a 40-inch fish in the mix, but yeah, nice one, see? Lots of extra line. See, with that back hook removed, I just love that safety factor. Ah, nice chunky fish. So what an awesome morning. Haven't been here long, got a half dozen fish. We just had to drift back on the rip to release a couple of nice stripers. I'm tiptoeing back, but this is as good as it gets for June fishing. We've got topwater eats, fish of all kinds of different sizes. Get to see squid fleeing, fish jumping, fish cartwheeling, great eats. This is the time you really want to be out here on Monomoy, middle June. So here's the outfit I'm using today. It's a 7-foot medium heavy spinning rod with a 5,000 class spinning reel. In this case, it's a Shimano Saragossa 5000 with 40-pound test braid and 30-pound test fluorocarbon leader. Stripers are keyed in on squid today, and we are using pink and amber colored poppers, the Hogy Charter Grade 5-inch popper. So I'm a big fan of translucent plugs, particularly when stripers are keyed in on squid. And my 2 favorite colors in that regard are the amber color popper, and in this case in my hand here, the pink colored popper. As you can see, it's translucent, which lets light pass through. So on bright days, it's a very bright lure. On darker days, it's sort of, less bright, we'll say. Now, all the plugs that we make at Hogy are through wired. So this plug is tuna strong, but it has striper hooks. You can see it has a series of rattles, but the rattles are positioned towards the back of the plug, and this is going to allow the plug to turn over on a cast and get extended lengths in out of each cast. So this is how the lure is rigged right out of the package, just ready to go. This is a traditionally rigged popper. It has 2 treble hooks. Now, when I fish with a popper, particularly for striped bass, the first thing I personally do is take off the back hook. Now at Hogy, we weight and balance all our plugs to be fished with just the front hook. So by taking this back hook off, you don't have to worry about any action change in the lure. So I just pop this hook right off. Now I keep, as you can see from the rust on these split ring pliers, I keep a pair of split ring pliers handy on the boat. I use split ring pliers probably as much as I use my traditional pliers. But now I'm ready to go, and this is how I'll fish the lure for the rest of the season. And I also just want to mention too that, believe it or not, with just this front hook, I'm going to injure fewer fish, but it has, in my opinion, 0 impact on the hookup and landing ratio. All right, folks, I think this is a great way to wrap up a great day with 2 nice stripers. Well, the takeaway for today, well, for starters, is being the right place at the right time, and certainly mid-June in Monomoy, that's a that's an easy bet. But the second thing I was thinking about today is they were keyed in on squid, and we had two known squid colors, the amber and the pink. And while they both did well, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the fog, the pink, or what, but the pink, you know, definitely outfished the amber. So it was good to have a few options. There was fish all over. We noticed that the bigger fish were out in front of the rip, the smaller fish were closer to the edge of the rip, and it was just a good morning overall. Certainly a great day to play hooky.